Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Brad Carroll, and I want to welcome you to Astronomy 1040, Introductory Astronomy Online. We're going to be learning a lot about this amazing universe that we live in this semester, and I want to show you how the course is going to work. So I am an astronomer. I love this stuff, and I'm really looking forward to going through the course with you, because every semester there's something new to share with you. So let's take a look here, and I want to go to the course homepage and show you how the course works. So here's the course homepage. Now this doesn't look exactly like what your page will look like, because this is the instructor's view, and there's some things over here on the right that will be different for you. I think you have a to-do list over here of things that are upcoming that have due dates. But this is what the page looks like, and it says that this is Astronomy 1040, so you know you're in the correct class. And here's some information about me. There's my name, my office in Tracy Hall at Weber State. Here's my office phone number and my office hours. Now, my office hours change from semester to semester, so you might check the syllabus to make sure that they haven't changed. But this is when I'll be in my office. But if you want to drop by and see me anytime, just call ahead and I'll be happy to set up a meeting with you. And so I'll be happy to make Zoom meetings also by appointment. So if you want to meet over Zoom, just let me know. Now, the best way to contact me is through the Canvas email system. And that's very easy to use. And in fact, you access it over here on the left. You can see that there is an inbox. So if I click on inbox, it takes me to the Canvas email system. I click this little icon up at the top here, and that lets me compose a new message. So it's very easy. Get in touch with me this way. So I'll just back out of that. Go back to the course homepage. So going down the page, it says the most important thing you should do is to read the syllabus. And the syllabus lays out how the course is going to work. And I want to go through it with you right now. So let's just pull up the syllabus onto the screen. There it is. And let's see here if I can get this, here we go, full page. That works better. Okay, so here's the syllabus for the course. And this is for spring 2022. And if you're taking it another semester, you can take a look at your own syllabus, but most of them are pretty much the same. So let's go through this together. Here's my name, my office, telephone number, and here's the textbook, Explorations. It's 8th edition by Tom Arney and Stephen Schneider. Its copyright is 2017. And here's what the book looks like. Now, there is a newer edition out. There's a 9th edition. And so if you want to get that, you can, but there is no bound version of that, meaning that it's not bound into a book form. It's all loose leaf, and that means you cannot sell it back to the library. Also, you could get the 7th edition, which is an even older one. So the 8th edition, you should be able to get used. The 7th edition, you should be able to get used. There are no codes that are necessary for the course. There's nothing that you have to access. And so please get whatever edition is best for you. And the closer to the 8th edition you are, the more closely it will correspond to what's in the syllabus. And again, my office hours, here are my office hours for this semester, and you can look them up for your semester. So here is an outline for the course. The course is broken up into 4 parts. The first part of the course is astronomy and how we learn about the universe. You know, astronomy is one of the oldest of the sciences, and it has a very rich history. And so you're going to learn about how ancient people back in ancient Greek times, how did they look at the universe? How did they understand what they were seeing up in the sky? And how did they understand the changes that were going on? We'll talk about that in this first part of the course, and we'll also talk about the science of astronomy. I mean, all astronomers can do is look at light from these stars that you see behind me here. So how is that we can learn so much about stars just by looking at them? And that's what you're going to find out here in the first part of the course. Then we'll move on. The second part of the course is about the solar system. And we'll cover the 8 planets. We'll cover asteroids, meteors, comets, and all of the trans-Neptunian objects that there are. And you'll learn all about our solar system. We'll also take a look at exoplanets. Excuse me. Exoplanets are planets orbiting other stars. And right now we know of almost 5,000 other planets orbiting other stars. So we'll learn about some of them too. The third part of the course, we'll take a look at the stars. And we'll start out with the sun. You know, the nearest star that gives us our light and heat. We'll learn how the sun works. What makes it shine? The sun has been shining for about 4.6 billion years. How can it keep shining for so long? So we'll learn about what powers stars. We'll learn about the changes that stars go through as they age. We'll find out about other stars that are both more massive and less massive than the sun. And we'll find out how those stars live and die, and how at the end they can produce exotic objects such as white dwarf stars or neutron stars, or even those most exotic of all objects, black holes. So we'll be talking about black holes in this third part of the course. Finally, in the fourth part of the course, we'll be talking about galaxies and cosmology. Cosmology is the study of the entire universe, and the universe is populated by galaxies, collections of, several 100 billion stars. And there are as many galaxies in the universe as there are stars in a galaxy. And we'll learn how galaxies came to be, and how the whole universe is structured and how it has evolved over time. So we'll be learning all about that in the fourth part of the course. So to get started here, if you're new to Weber State Online, here's a link for you to click. And let's go through the course description here. The course is broken into 14 modules. Part 1 of the course, Astronomy and How We Learn About the Universe, that has 4 modules. Okay. Then the solar system, that also has 4 modules. Okay. The sun and other stars has 3 modules devoted to that. And galaxies and cosmology has 3 modules devoted to that. So all in all, there's 14 modules. We'll do 1 module per week. And each module has a folder, and I'll show you where that folder is and how to access it. But each folder has certain things in common. And the first thing you'll see in there that's actually not in this course description is a video for that week. Every Sunday, I make a video for the coming week, and that video tells you a little bit of what's ahead in that module. It tells you what news there is in astronomy, and it shows you what is in the night sky that week. So you'll see the week video in every module. Then there'll be an introduction that describes the module, and that describes, it reviews the reading assignment. It works out examples of some of the problems that you'll be having on your homework, and we'll just tell you what's ahead in that module. Then every module has a homework quiz that has 20 questions, and those are done on Canvas. And I'll show you, again, where those are in a little bit. And they have about 20 questions for you to do. And you have to take every homework quiz twice, because each homework quiz counts as 100 points. And each homework quiz has 2 parts. There is a preview that's worth 20 points. And that means the first time you take it, you go through and you answer the question based upon your reading out of the textbook. And you submit the quiz, and it will tell you what you got right and what you got wrong. And it will also show you which were the correct answers. Then you can go back and take the homework quiz again. And this time it's worth 80 points. And this time you have all the right answers. So you should be able to get 100% on this retake. Now, I'll warn you, I maybe mix up the answers to the quizzes. If it's multiple choice, I might change the order of things a little bit. So it really would help if when you take the practice test, or when you get the answers after submitting the practice test, you write down what the right answers are in words, not like A, B, C, D, but in words. And that way you'll be fine when you take the retake. You should get 100% on every one of those. Now, the homework is always due on the Monday after that module started. And the only exception to that is the one from homework quiz for module 1, because I'm going to give you 2 weeks on that, because some of you have to order books and their books have to come in. And so both modules 1 and 2 quizzes are going to be due at the end, at that Monday following module 2. And I'll show you where all of the due dates are, so you won't get confused about that. Now, a lot of times people want to know, what can I do for extra credit? Well, good news for you. There is an extra credit observing project for every module. It's optional. You don't have to do it. You can get 100% of the points for the course without doing a single extra credit observing project. But if you do them, and you do them correctly, you get 1 extra point. And this is out of 100 for the total points in the course. You get 1 extra point for every one you do. And if you can get up to 10 extra points, and that's a full letter grade. So if you're close to a boundary, at the end of the semester, this can put you over the boundary if you just do a few of them. If you want to raise a full letter grade, you can do as many of these observing projects as you would like. And I always grade these after the course ends. There's also some module discussions. And if you want to ask questions of the class, you can do that if you want. I'll check in on the discussions every once in a while, but mostly this is if you want to talk to your fellow students. But I always do take a look at these, and I usually check in on the discussions every day. Finally, in each module, there will be videos for you to watch. This is to help share some of the latest things that have been going on in astronomy, and also just to give you some different ways of understanding some of the course material. So please watch the videos. There's also some web pages for you to visit, maybe have some recent news stories or something like that. And I'll warn you that on the exams, I always include 1 or 2 questions from the videos just to make sure you're watching them. All right, going down here, here's about communication in the course. And we've already talked about that. The easiest way is through the Canvas email system. And if you want to contact me directly for some reason, here's my email address, bcarroll@weber.edu. Either way you do it, both of these are going to show up in the same place on my email. So Zoom and Office meetings, I've already mentioned about, I'll be happy to set up a Zoom meeting with you or an office meeting in person. I have office hours, but if you can't make it during office hours, just contact me and we can set up a time that will work for you. And here we are, exams. There's going to be 3 exams plus a final exam and a constellation quiz for the course. And all of these are given on Canvas. So you're going to take them at home on your computer. And the dates for the exams are given in the semester schedule. And I'll be showing you that in a little bit. Now, the exams, the 3 midterms and the final, are open book. That means you can use your textbook while you're taking the exam. You can use the homework quizzes while you're taking the exam, but please, no other resources are allowed. So please just confine yourself to the textbook and to any thing you find in the modules. Mostly that's going to be your homework quizzes, and those are all fair resources for your exams. Now, if you want to take an exam twice, you can. What you do is that after you take the first exam, you submit it, and it will tell you which answers you got wrong. Then you can go to your book, you can look up what the answers are, try to, find it, and then you take the whole exam again. And if you do that, I give you the average of the 2 exams that you take. Now, you don't have to do that. If you take just take it one time, I'll just give you the score that you got on that first attempt. And the only exception to the open book is the Constellation Quiz. I'm going to ask that you be able to recognize about 15 constellations and 2 star clusters at the end of the course. And that will be closed book. Now, there's materials to study for that constellation quiz on the course homepage, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So, and in fact, here is the constellation quiz. Here's the list of the constellations that you have to know and the 2 star clusters. As a matter of fact, all of these, if you want to, and you're watching this video and it's the winter time, you can just go out tonight and see these 2 star clusters. Finally, this is a general education course, and all general education courses are required to have a signature assignment. And this is sort of a big question that I ask, that ask you to respond to the course as a whole. And this is worth 5 points. Now, this is 5 points out of 100. This is half a letter grade. So please do this at the very end. And the big question for the course is, how does an astronomer think about astronomy? And I want you to answer that. You can pretend a friend asked you that question. And, how would you answer your friend? Don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what you just tell your friend. All I want is a couple paragraphs. This should only take you 5 or 10 minutes to do. Really short, 100 to 200 words limit. And that's at the very end of the course. Now, let me say a few words about math. And I don't emphasize math in the course, but still, how do we know all that we know about the universe just by watching the light that comes from those stars and from planets? We have laws of nature, and those laws of nature are expressed in mathematics. Now, I'm going to put some mathematics examples on your homework. And usually I'll work through examples of those on the introduction for that module, so you can see how to do them. But the exams, excuse me, the exams don't have a lot of math on them. And usually it's just, do you recognize how to do the problem? So you won't need a calculator on exams. You will for, excuse me, you will need it for your homework quizzes. And there's an online calculator you can use that I'll show you in a few minutes. And nobody has ever complained about the level of math in the course. There is some free planetarium software. And you can get that. It's called Stellarium. You can get it by going to this link, www.stellarium.org. And we'll be using that. I'll be using it every week to show you what's in the sky. And you'll be using it on some of your optional observing projects. There are some obligatory words here. You can read them, you know, be cool, be honest, and you'll be fine. There's some things about if you need an accommodation due to a disability, it tells you to go to a certain office on campus. You can read about that. Let's keep going down here. And we've come to the semester schedule. And here's the schedule. This tells you exactly what you're going to be doing every week. So here for the first week, this is by week. The first week we'll be doing module 1. There are the dates for it. Here's what you're going to be reading, what pages. This is the reading assignment in the 8th edition. So if you have another edition of the text, it'll be a little bit different, but you can figure it out because the chapter numbers will be the same. And here is where when your homework is due. Module 2, here's the dates for that, reading assignment, and so on. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 weeks are modules 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have an exam. So here are the dates for the exam. Notice you have 7 days to take the exams. You can find a date that is convenient for you to take it. And it covers modules 1 through 4. Then here's the next 4 modules, spring break, and then exam 2. And notice that you don't have a module due right after spring break. So you get a break for spring break. And if you're taking this during the fall semester, there's no module due right after Thanksgiving. And if you're taking this during the summer, I'm sorry, summer doesn't have that extra week built into it. So sorry about that. I didn't make up the schedule. And finally, you can go down here and see when the final is. On page 6 here of the syllabus, here's how the grading works. It tells you how much each part of the course is worth, how much of the homework is worth, the hour exams, final exam. Oh, and by the way, the final exam is exactly like the hour exam. It is not cumulative. And so the final exam is just another hour exam. Constellation Quiz, signature assignment, and the optional observing projects. And it tells how I calculate your final score and how that translates into A, B, C, D, or whatever. Then there's some required wordage at the end of the semester or at the end of the syllabus, and I won't go through that. So there we go. Let's go back to the home page here. This, for some reason, sends me back to modules. I'll click home page. There we go. Now, we've taken a look at the module, and here's some important links for the syllabus, the semester schedule. Constellation Quiz here takes you to a page where there's some information about the Constellation Quiz. It shows you what the material looks like, what the sheet looks like that I'll be using for the Constellation Quiz. There it is. You can see there's the list of the constellations. And here's what the constellations look like. And what you should do is go through and identify and label all of these constellations for the Constellation Quiz. There we go. So let's go get out of that. And go back here. Here's Stellarium download. This will a link to let you download Stellarium, the planetarium program. Now, here is an introductory program or an introductory video that I made to show you how you use Stellarium. If you want to use an online calculator, this is eCalc. It's a pretty good online calculator. And I've even made a little video that shows you how to use eCalc. And finally, here are 4 important points about the course. First of all, this is not a self-paced course. There are due dates for everything you have to submit. Second, all the exams are given on Canvas. And you'll find the exams on the module page, and I'll show you that in just a second. Third, there's a signature assignment. Please don't forget that. When I'm assigning grades, there's always a few people who didn't do it, and it breaks my heart that they've lowered themselves down half a grade. And finally, there are extra credit observing projects. So let's take a look at a module just to see what that looks like. I go over to the left. Oh, before I do that, real quickly, let me show you the calendar. If you haven't seen the calendar before, if you go all the way over here to the left and click calendar, it takes you to a calendar for the semester. And here's the calendar for the spring semester. And you can see month by month. This is January. Let's go to February. This shows you when things are due and when exams are open. So there's the calendar. And let's go back to the modules. And so here's module 1. And you can see that module 1 has a video that you can watch, and that tells you all of the news that's happened. If there's been astronomy news, I'll tell you what that is. It'll give you a sort of a preview of what's to come. The welcome for the module is just a list of due dates. It tells you when everything is due. There's a course introduction. And this is something you should really take a look at, because this is a more thorough introduction to the course. Let's try again to bring that up there. Here we go. So you can see I tell you what's ahead in the course. I give you some definitions for module 1. So there's usually, or sometimes, some information that isn't in your textbook. In this case, there is some vocabulary that we use in the sciences. And so that's in here in the introduction. And you can go down. Here's some calculator exercises to make sure you can use your calculator, and so on. So please take a look at the course introduction. Then below that, there are your practice and retake homework quizzes. So just click one of those. That'll take you to the questions. Now, my screen looks a little bit different, so I have to click another button to get to the questions. You won't have to do that. So here are the questions. You can see they're multiple choice and so on, and maybe a short answer. And then at the very bottom of this, there is a submit button that you have to hit to submit your quizzes. Here is the observing project for module 1. There we go. I can click that. You know, if I click it too soon, the page hasn't finalized on the screen, so I have to click it again. Here it is. It tells you, gives you a little short description of the observing project. You can click, and this pulls up a PDF description of the observing project. Like so. And you can submit your observing project through a link that is in the observing project. Here's the discussion, and here are videos to watch. So some of these are longer, some of these are quite short, but usually have to open them in a new window. And they're actually pretty good. This one talks about what is in the universe and takes you on a tour of the universe. Finally, there is a sky map you can download. Oh, let me go back to the observing projects just a second. You might notice that they are due at very different times. And so this first observing project isn't due until February 22nd. That's because it takes 6 weeks to do. You're going to be observing the phases of the moon over a month. And so it's not due for 6 weeks. Okay, so again, there is a sky map to download, and this just is something for your purposes, and it opens in a new window like most of these do. And this is something you can download that shows you exactly what is in the sky. And this can be useful for identifying the constellations on your constellation chart. All right, let's just go to the modules. And so there's module 1. Here's everything from module 2, module 3, module 4, and there's your first exam. So notice that the link for the first exam is right after module 1. Keep going down, module 5, 6, 7. Here's module 8. And here's the exam for the second exam following module 8. Keep going down. Here's exam 3 following module 11. And at the very bottom, here is your final exam, your constellation quiz, and your signature assignment. And there we go. So that's the course. I know it seems like a lot, but I try to lay out everything very clearly for you. And as always, if you have any questions at all about anything, send me an email. You know, if you ever have a question, happy to set up a Zoom meeting for you. Happy to have you come to my office. So I'm really looking forward to this semester. As I said, I'm an astronomer. My PhD is in astrophysics. And so I am really looking forward to seeing what happens this semester in astronomy and sharing that with you. So have a great semester, and I'll look forward to seeing you. So until the next video, bye-bye.